I have wanted to come to Rome for so long. I am almost nervous now. But if it is bigger, then it is not like any other city, is it? You should be proud to call such place home. You are happy to be home? They will be quite happy to see you again, I bet. I have no place to stay, of course. I can stay in your home, maybe. Just for now. That is generous. Thank you. I will try to find a place for myself, but it is good to know there is no rush. We will see. Maybe I will hate it. Then I will have to go and find someplace else to be. But I think I will want to stay. If I can find a place to live. Why would I want to keep fighting when I don't have to? Fighting is a necessity of life. It is not sport. I did not come to Rome to keep fighting. You think it will be bad? Maybe you can help me buy a nice Roman stola. Then I will fit in, right? We will go shopping. It will be fun.
Hey. Oh, thanks. Just what every girl hopes to hear. I don't want to return. I don't even know where to go. This is the first time I'm back home. No offense, but neither do you. Thank you for the offer, but there are some things I have to take care of. Not really. I like it better out there. Did you come up with this incisive analysis all by yourself? It's just, in there I have to be someone else. Out here, I'm just Julius Calidus. I like being Julius Calidus. Never mind. Good weather, nice food, what's not to like? And you've got what you wanted too. I wouldn't count on anything. Those Vitellius bastards are slippery. Expect the unexpected.
What is it, Legati? It is inaction that bothers me. Idleness corrodes the warrior's mind. It is in the quiet moments a warrior dies. I would rather stay alert. There was, but not in Rome. I had a sister once, although sometimes I question my own sanity. Did she truly exist, or did I merely dream of her?
Aristocles teaches us that one may never truly know. We live chained inside a cave, staring at the shadows on a wall.
None can chain Bestia Tabat anymore. I will find out where my sister is. We were both sold as children. She fetched a higher price than I, for she was better in every way than I was. I do not know what became of her. I shall consider your offer.
We shall help you find your sister, Bestia. Failing that, we shall prove her existence or the lack thereof.
You are a capable commander. Mercy is your weakness. Your enemies exist as long as they survive. Can't think of any situation like you mentioned.
Welcome home, Domine. More than happy. Although it was nice to be back in my homeland once again, I find it quite impossible to not miss Rome. All I need now is a change of clothes and a day trip to the library. Much appreciated. It was good to be back in action, but now my old bones are in dire need of some rest. To see your mother. I'm sure she's anxious to know we've arrived. I shall be cautious like a lizard. None shall be aware of my presence. It appears we have everything we need against Vitellius Scaevola, but keep in mind, appearances can be deceiving. I know you will.
Legate? I always get this weird feeling when I'm back. Like I've left something of mine behind out there. Now there's a thought. That masseuse from Lutetia. I wonder if she's still around. Brilliant idea, Legate. You know what? For once, I'll do nothing. Nothing at all. And it will be glorious. A word of warning, Legate. My nothing involves a lot of debauchery and degeneracy. In that case, we have a compact. As they say in Rome, live with Kaiso, live your life.
And who are they? The people who say that?
You know, people say that. I'm sure I've heard some people saying that. Couldn't be better. We have conquered Asia, and you have all the evidence you need to put that traitorous Vitellius Scaevola behind bars.
Arway Lucullus and his victorious legion, welcome home.
Salve, Vitus. It is good to be home again. I'm looking forward to a nice bath and a flask of good Carthaginian wine. Maybe two.
May I humbly recommend Vipsanius Marcellus' new batch? People say it's heavenly.
Ah, your recommendations never fail to impress. Do address the legatus, though. This victory was of his doing more than mine.
My apologies, Legate. I neither know nor recognize you. Thank you. I am sure you'll be remembered from now on. Now, let us conclude our business. The consul seems to attribute the success of this campaign to you, Legate. Thus it is your duty to formally disband the Legion and relinquish your weapons. Beyond this river lies the Pomerium, and not even a victorious imperator can cross it bearing arms. Attack us? Who could be stupid enough to attack Rome?
Rome is well protected, Legate. Besides, our men are weary. They want to go home.
Domine, if you refuse, your legion will be put to death. That is the punishment for such a transgression.
You have earned the right to carry these weapons on your campaign, Legate. But the moment you cross the Rubicon into Rome, you are a legatus no longer. No one can carry weapons inside the Pomerium. That is different. A gladiator's weapons are for killing.
Are all weapons not for killing? How is it any different?
It's recreational killing.
Then, you would be going against the very essence of Rome.
Even by keeping a small knife on your person?
Either you violate a law or you don't. The scope of your transgression does not matter.
Doesn't it, though?
You have given up your command, but you have retained your virtue. You can always get your command back when Rome needs you again. It is part of being a commander. You are a soldier out there, and a citizen in here. The River Rubicon marks the sacred line where you stop being a warrior. It is time you learn how you may conquer a more civilized battleground. We shall meet at my villa in 2 nights. There are people I want you to meet prior to the Senate hearing. We must get your villa back somehow. Do not worry about your favorite gladius. Your war gear will be kept safely in my summer villa outside the city.
I hope you are hungry, Domine. Lucullus is known for his lavish feasts. Do not eat anything until I've tasted it first. I wouldn't put it past the Vitellius brothers to poison this entire party just to get you and Lucullus. I am sure Dominus Lucullus has a reason and a plan. I would play along. My personal mission tonight is to taste each and every single dish. You may have to roll me home. I see that Tullius Cicero and Porcius Cato are both here tonight. They are highly esteemed senators of the Optimatus faction. The very same. He is an orator of unmatched skill. He was trained in Greece, you know. To what end? A blade would not help against poison. May Fortuna smile on you, Dominic. I'll be here if you need me.
Right on time. Just like a proper legatus. Welcome, son. After this long and arduous campaign, a feast is all you need. All in due time, all in due time. Now, divert your attention to our guests. This is more important than you think. Well, you know Marcus Minucius Thermus. He's still thankful for your timely assistance and the saving of his life. You probably remember Marcus Aurelius Cotta as well. He seems to have brought his siblings, Lucius and Aurelia Cotta. The gentleman in the corner is Marcus Tullius Cicero. Making his acquaintance should prove to be very useful for you. I plan for him to become your advocate tomorrow. Last but not least, I've also invited Marcus Porcius Cato, who may or may not represent you as well. You see why it was important for you to be here. I think not. Just be your charming self and try to win them over. And please relax. You have defeated an army of rebel pirates. This is a simple dinner party. Please, try to refrain from stabbing my guests. We should, and we are. This is our preparation. The guests in this party were not randomly chosen. Our success largely depends on your conduct tonight. Be sure to join us at the table before you leave. I'd like to introduce you to Cato myself. And smile. And do not walk like you have just swallowed a measuring pole.
I haven't received an invitation yet. I'll let you know when it arrives.
Ah, it's good to see you again. Have some wine.
He looks better.
That fool, Silvius. He's been pushing his luck.
My leg still hurts every now and then, and all this rain isn't helping. But that is nothing compared to what could have been. You have my eternal gratitude. Much appreciated. But I am eager to return to my propraetorship in Asia. With any luck, Rome will never have need of me again. It is pretty much out of my hands. I'd follow your Patronus's lead. Lucullus is a smart man who usually has a few backup plans. I understand you have all the evidence you need to expose Vitellius Scaevola. It's a strong position. Nevertheless, I would advise caution. Vitellius Scaevola, and especially his brother Lurco, are ruthless and cunning. Expect the unexpected. Only those who matter. Be careful around Cotta. He's still reeling somewhat from the damage that was done to his pride. a man like Cotter, an honorable death would have been preferable to a humiliating near miss.
Is Pompeius Magnus not coming tonight?
He's in Hispania, I believe.
Shit. Oh, I thought this was my chance to win his patronage.
Of course. The savior of the legions, Lucullus Wonder Kid. I knew you would be here. Don't give me that infuriating smirk. Slither off and gloat somewhere else, will you?
Excuse my brother's ill mood, Legate. This new Carthaginian wine doesn't agree with him, if you know what I mean. I am Lucius Aurelius Cotter. This is our sister, Aurelia. We're glad to make your acquaintance. We were just talking about you anyway.
Of course we were. Really? Are you so eager to display your shallowness? Well, I'm not.
Other than saving his life?
Lucius!
Oh, please, let him talk, Aurelia. Let everyone witness the failure of Marcus Aurelius Cotta. The man who got himself captured and let his nephew die. The consul who had to be saved by a homeless runt. Enjoy the attention while it lasts. I will watch your eventual but inevitable fall with great interest.
We were discussing how you saved my brother's life and became the hero of the Asia campaign.
Yet my son Gaius was not valuable enough to be saved. Indeed. It almost took Marcus's life too. Thank you for saving at least one of the people I deeply care about. Oh, it's broken. This sword was my father's. It was called Croquet-Amours. You were friends with him, weren't you? However briefly. Why don't you keep it? I think I still have the old schematics for it. I'll have a servant bring them to your villa tomorrow.
That is absolutely unnecessary. I'd spend it all on farmlands. People need their food.
Indeed they do. But what good is food if it's obtained by illegitimate means? What do you think about it, Legate? Spoils of war, unaccounted for and untaxed. Should they be used for development to feed the people of Rome? A simple question.
A fairly strong answer, I'd say. No matter how much you try to legislate, the situation at hand will defy your expectations.
Meet Senators Marcus Porcius Cato and Marcus Tullius Cicero, who will be acting as your attorney tomorrow. At least I hope so.
Unfortunately, things have developed differently, my friend. I've decided to represent Tiberius Vitellius Scaevola instead. I generally avoid prosecuting. One does not make friends that way.
Certainly an interesting turn of events. But I've heard you talking disfavorably about the Vitellius brothers before. How do you justify defending them?
What I justify hardly matters. I seek to represent them to the best of my ability, so justice can be served. Most certainly not. I know everything I need to know.
Legate, what guidelines did you follow when you had to decide the fate of that Triarchus? Why did you let him live? Our feelings often point towards the moral path. I wonder, exactly how utilitarian are you in your thinking? I heard you had the opportunity to bribe a hired guard protecting a spy.
Stop interrogating the man, Cato. Not everyone must adhere to your high standards. Very well, gentlemen. I shall take this as my cue to leave. I bid you a good day.
Wale, Cicero. See you tomorrow.
One final question, before I retire as well.
You and your questions, Cato.
I believe you entered the Pomerium very well armed, disobeying the Quaestor. But Vetus is a hawk. He saw what you did. He just wasn't sure why you did it.
What are you talking about, Cato? If it were anybody else...
Yet it is not someone else, Lucullus. But let your clients answer the question, please. True, but that is for them to decide. Our proper conduct is what separates us from villains. This has been an interesting conversation, gentlemen. I thank you for it. But now, with your permission, I shall leave. Welate.
Wale, Cato. That was foolish of you, entering the Pomerium armed. If Cicero feels the need, he could use this against you in the Senate. You are lucky that Cato respects me as much as he does. He is not usually one to let such transgressions go unpunished. It is one of the very pillars upon which Rome was founded. Don't let arrogance blind you to your place in the Republic.
I was surprised Crassus offered to pay for the whole campaign himself.
He's desperate for a military victory to get himself elected consul.
But fending off a mob of gladiators? That's not very glamorous.
An easy victory to advertise to gullible plebeians.
Did you know that here Tullius Varus is planning to run for Pontifex Maximus?
I did. I saw him at the Forum the other day, dragging a gaggle of his supporters behind him.
Carta is just home from a successful military campaign. His election is all but certain.
Doubtless Cotta will be Pontifex Maximus. Varus doesn't stand a chance.
You look tired. Shall we leave? So, did you enjoy yourself? You'll have to endure more of these gatherings, so I recommend getting used to them.
As per today's augury, a specific issue stood out as being of utmost importance. I bring forth the following relatio, the result of which is to be decided per discussionem, and as usual before the sun sets.
It means the issue is to be discussed, allowing us to present our findings publicly.
The complaint is brought forth by Lucius Licinius Lucullus concerning alleged wrongdoing and infamous conduct by Tiberius Vitellius Scaevola and his brother Vibius Vitellius Lurco. Are both parties present?
I am present.
As am I.
Weird that Vitellius Lurco would be here to do the talking. Where is Scaevola? He is the accused.
Are both parties represented?
I shall represent the defendant.
There's no one coming. You will have to present our case.
This hearing will conclude at sunset. I'm afraid we have no time to wait for your imaginary advocate. Do go ahead with the restatement of your accusation. Found out. So you do have evidence. Interesting. Do you accept the accusation, Kikaro?
I see no reason to comment at this stage. May I humbly remind the Magistra, he who makes the claim has the burden of proof. We shall rest until sufficient proof is presented to eliminate all shadow of a doubt.
I was just trying to be helpful. The defendant is always at a disadvantage.
I'm sure you mean usually and not always.
As you wish. Present your evidence.
Preposterous. Do you think my client would be foolish enough to commit a crime and put his signature on the evidence?
The evidence is material, Kikaro. There is no room for interpretation. The crates do carry Scaeola's signature.
I have investigated them myself. I concur. Is there anyone who would contest my findings?
I admit, the evidence looks damning.
So, do the defendants admit their guilt? Are the Vitelli guilty of all crimes stated or implied?
Of course not. For starters, the evidence proves only treason.
Only? What else is needed to declare this man infamous?
Do not interrupt the speaker.
No harm done. My dear friend Kato is correct. The evidence is enough to declare one infamous. That one is Tiberius Vitellius Scaevola. Nowhere in any findings can you conjure the ability to implicate my client, Vibius Vitellius Lurco. That, of course, depends on the nature of the treason. But that's largely irrelevant.
That is literally the topic of our discussion, Kikaro. How in the world can you say it's irrelevant?
There simply is no case. Vitellius Scaevola cannot be punished.
Your rhetorical games grow tiresome. You have admitted the evidence is rock solid.
This should be interesting.
Simply because the man is dead. Therefore, he cannot be accused. Therefore, the case is null and void.
Senators, people of Rome, of course the evidence is clear. I accept my brother's guilt. It is a stain on our family name. A stain we will quite possibly never be able to cleanse. You know I love my family. I love my brother more than anything else in this world. Almost anything. The only thing I love more than my own brother is Rome itself. And thus, with sorrow in my heart, I was forced to take his life.
Oh, I see.
It is not a boast. It is my solemn duty to deliver the news. I am a man with the highest of morals. Someone who places the well-being of Rome over his own flesh and blood. Step outside, senators. You will witness my brother hanging from the old tree. Let him rot there. Do not take him down. Let it be a warning to all those who would threaten Rome, placing their petty family matters over the well-being of our great republic. Let it be known that Vibius Vitellius Lurco will never tolerate treason, not even from his own blood.
A decision cannot be reached. This case is non-existent.
You'll be fine, for now. The clerk should give you an official deed for your villa. Now that Lurco has killed his own brother, it officially belongs to you. This is not good, though. He turned impending defeat into a major victory. We will need a new plan. Go home and lay low for now. Your family needs you.
Domine, we've been awaiting your return. You have a good memory for faces. The name is Marcellus. Naturally. The villa is yours. Let us know if you need anything.
My son? You're back! And with Cineros. Oh, it's so good to see you both safe.
It's good to see you, Domina.
I've missed you so much. You look great. Did you lose some weight? Are you eating well? Has he been eating well, Cineros?
He has, Domina.
All right, I'll stop talking. But you'll have to tell me everything. Tell me about the war. I heard some of your friends died there. Killed by pirates. How did you survive? I know. I was just concerned for you. But did you like the life in the Legion? Do you want to be a career soldier? I was afraid you'd hate it like your father did. But it seems you're more of a warrior than he was.
Domina, with all due respect, I guess the legatus has his own questions. Am I wrong?
Oh, they were polite, mostly. Except for the fact they wanted me confined to this villa. I guess having me walking around the streets was too much of a risk. Once you were out of the picture. He had no reason to antagonize me, though. They told me your sister's husband is dead. She should be free by now. I wonder if they did something to her. I do, and Akulus agreed. It was a sinister plan to take over our family. But now you're here, and everything will be fine. It's good to have you home, and for it to be our home again. Now that you're back, we have a lot of work ahead of us. Oh, listen to me. You just got here. Go on, take some time to settle in. Let me know when you're ready to get to work.
Do you need me?
Did you prepare the study for the Dominus's return?
We took care of it this morning.
Domina Claudiana has been so worried for you.
Have you tasted this year's batch from the vineyards? It's divine.
Your mother has started catching me up on how the vineyards have been going since we left. The harvest was better than expected. That is good news, of course, but it also means we have a problem. One of our grapes produced a particularly good wine. It's an opulent vintage with a smooth finish. Quite frankly, Domine, it is one of the best wines I have ever tasted. Oh, but I do. And you know I've tasted a lot of excellent wines throughout my life. This wine ranks among the best of the best. Winemaking is not an exact science. We do follow recipes, but we are subject to the whims of Dionysus. Every now and then he favors you, and you may produce a wine of this caliber. It means the wine has a rich and smooth taste. An opulent wine is a bold wine. The meanings of words are rarely set in stone. Perhaps 1,000 years from now, people will use different adjectives. But today, these are the words we use. The question is what we shall do with this wine. It's certainly worth more than what we normally sell for. It's the best kind of problem to have. It might be a good idea to visit some of the merchants in the market. Before you leave, there's a small thing we have to decide. A good wine deserves a good name. What should we name this one? How about Endless Mirth? That's a good name. Very well. That being settled, you should go and talk to the wine merchants. I had no doubts. You've made everyone proud, and this victory is cause for celebration. I shall cook today. Our legal system has its own intricacies, which no one but people like Kikaro understand. I'm sure the powers that be worked their magic. I don't know, it's your house. Sit back and relax and let your Sir-We handle things. Do bear in mind that managing an estate is no simple task, though. Now that your father is no longer with us, you will have to find a way to generate income. I think we should focus on the wine business. There used to be a lot of money in your vineyards.
How is it? You don't like the dress? Is it normal in Rome for important people to make such shameless advances on their guards? Is good we are not normal, then. I would like that, if it is fine with you. This villa is amazing. So many statues and fancy carpets. I love your garden. It's so lush and green. And trickle of fountain calms me down. In some ways it is. In others, it is not. City is big. I have never seen anything like it. And there are so many things to buy, so many different people. I love that. But there is a strange way people talk to me. Not because I am foreign, I think, but because I am woman. That I don't like.
I'm so glad to be rid of those lictors. The way they looked at me.
Are you going to feed the horses?
I am. Is there something I should know?
Don't walk behind the grey mare. A few weeks ago,
Feel under the weather? I'm Salve Legate. Are you looking for medical supplies? Then you've come to the right place. Tell me what you need, and I shall provide you with everything. Every healer I know dreams of going to war with the legions. But bones do not only break in battle. Life in Rome can sometimes be a battlefield. I do not charge for the act of healing. I charge for the items I use. My potions and bandages do not come cheap. It would have been fortuitous if the gods simply granted such materials. But healing is the art of mortal hands, and mortal hands need denarii. I have some linen I can spare. You could buy some if you want to make bandages. This bottle could also prove to be interesting for you. It's a concoction that works against the effects of many poisons. The machinations of the senatorial class can occasionally turn very bitter indeed. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. Good. You should make sure to consult a trained healer in mixing this, however. The wrong application could turn ugly. Of that, I have plenty. How many do you need? Thank you. Let us hope you'll never... Of that, I have... Linen is not so...
It is good the Smith Sextus has returned from the war. I've missed his work greatly.
He's working on new locks for me already. I've been asked to change all the locks in my Dominus's villa.
His own brother killed him. He admitted it in front of the Senate.
That's outrageous. And he was a senator too. What kind of man kills a member of his own family?
Personally, I think it was brave. These patricians always put their family ahead of the people they're supposed to serve. They're corrupt, the lot of them.
I guess it is refreshing to see a man who would give up so much in the fight against corruption.
Rania, wife of Paulus Belventius.
That's me.
Domina, it is with great sorrow that I bring word from the Imperator.
Don't.
Your husband was killed in the siege of Chalcedon.
Stop!
He fought courageously and gave his life in the service of Rome.
Go! Leave!
I'm sorry for your loss.
Get out!
You don't understand. We love each other. Ask her yourself.
My daughter will not be seen with anyone from your family. If I ever catch you sneaking around here again, I'm going to gut you like a fish. Now get out!
It's the young girl with the auburn hair on the second floor, on the corner.
Ah, indeed, she is a pretty one. I can see why he pines for her.
I wish she'd just take the boy in and give him what he wants so he'll stop moaning about her outside my window. It's every night now.
If I were you, I would just empty the chamber pot on his head.
I couldn't. He reminds me of my dear Noctua.
Could I possibly pay you to send one of your apprentices to my house?
I'm sure we can arrange that. What seems to be the problem?
My house is built over the cloaca. There is a smell recently.
Oh, I see. I'll send someone out to you tomorrow, and we'll get that looked at.
You've sent the birds to shit on my stall.
Are you out of your mind? You think I can command the birds?
They only shit on my crates, never on yours.
What difference does it make?
Your crates are already full of shit.
So you found me again. But you're a civilian now. Here you are, just another customer in my smithy. Only because you've never met any of my competitors, I'm sure. I don't suppose you're in the market for some carpentry tools? There is no market for such tools in peacetime. And of course, weapons are not allowed inside the pomerium. Tell you what, I do have something here you might be interested in. Have you ever heard the legend of the Ankylia? Well, I'm not much of a storyteller, but they say the shield of Mars fell from the sky during the reign of Numa Pompilius. In his wisdom, the king ordered 11 copies to be forged. They were stored alongside the original in the Temple of Mars. I have come into possession of one of them. Or perhaps it's the original, who knows? But you see, even a replica, ancient and storied as it is worth a small fortune. If nothing else, it's an exquisite artifact of a bygone age. You are as savvy in business as you are in warfare, I see. I do have an assistant, my daughter. She is all I can afford. But today she is with her teacher learning history or Greek or some other such high-minded nonsense. The hope is if he fills her head with enough such drivel, she will find a wealthy husband so she'll never have to peddle my pots and pans again. Then, if you buy it from me, you should take good care of it.
Just go talk to him.
Not when he's at work. Then I'll never know if he's just being nice to me because he's being paid to be.
Come on, girl. You think a plebeian boy like that would say no to someone with your family tree?
This is the place. This is where my statue will be erected.
Well chosen, Domine.
We'll have to get rid of this hideous pavilion, of course.
Of course, Domine.
And that column. My statue will have to be taller than the column.
Why not just have the column destroyed, Domine?
Brilliant idea. Write that down.
Oh. At once, Domine.
News from Greece! The army of Consul Lucius Licinius Lucullus is recently returned following its victory against the enemy of Rome, Mithridates Megas. A triumph has been granted by the Senate to the victorious Imperator and will take place on the calends of next month. All Romans are asked to attend.
It was the most unbelievable and bold political maneuver I've ever witnessed.
I still don't understand. To kill one's family is the worst act imaginable. He is obligated to defend his family, even against the law.
Yet he seems to have turned it to an advantage. The people praise his selfless devotion to our law and justice and to our republic.
It makes no sense at all.
A fine reward is offered for the return of a horse stolen from the stables of Proculus Sinicius Hilario. The following noblemen involved in the insurrection in Asia Minor have received pardon of Lucullus and must not be harmed. Octavius Pontidius Crito, Vibius Plancius Mesa, and Manius Usturius Gratos.
Special discount for ladies with blue hair. Arwe, what brings you to the land of wine today? If wine is what you seek, you have come to the right place. My wine is much better than those of Marcellus Vipsanius. That's what I call it. This area of the market belongs to the Collegium Venariorum. We are an association of all the wine merchants in Rome. Not at all. Although we are rivals, that doesn't make us enemies. In fact, we have certain rules about the way business is to be conducted. He prioritizes customer satisfaction at the cost of morality and the law. He lies, cheats, and threatens. In the end, he acquires the best vintages. Some of us do, but many of us purchase wine from vineyards and sell it here at the market. I would be very interested, but the rules state that I have to call the other merchants for a tasting. We each must have an equal opportunity. I am honored. Unfortunately, I have to call my fellow merchants. You should hear their offers too, and if you still want to do business with me, you are free to do so, which I hope will be the case. This is brilliant. Exquisite. The best wine I have tasted this year. You know, your father and my father used to trade, but I do not believe they ever achieved this level of excellence.
I do not know, Quintus. It does have a harsh finish.
I would call it nutty. Some really good wine, though. I could sell this for years. Domine, would you consider a 5-year deal? I'm willing to buy a 5th of your stock this year, and another 5th next year, and so on. For each batch, I would offer you 1,000 denarii.
I won't risk that. Tastes change, and demands change with them. I'll pay you 3,500 denarii. Sure, it is less than you'd get from Claudius over 5 years, but I want all of this wine now.
I agree, it is a good wine. I will buy all of your stock right now, and I'll pay 4,000 denarii, more than Quintus is willing to part with. Half now, and half when I take delivery.
I am an honest trader, Legate. My father used to deal with your father before either of us was born. I will sell your wine to the best clients and pay for all of it up front.
The deal favors us both. I pay less now, and you have greater profits in the long term.
It's good money. More than what Quintus pays, and you'll get paid as soon as I take delivery. In exchange, your wine will be sold at the best tavern in Rome. It's an offer you cannot. I'm sure you've made the right choice, and that you know what's good for you.
Your business acumen is impressive. I agree to your terms and revise the offer. I shall pay you 6,000 denarii over the next 5 years.
Preposterous. You can't make a deal with these fools. Mark my words, you will regret this. I give you one last chance to change your mind. You have missed out on a great business venture.
I will make the arrangements at once. You will receive the first installment soon. Fine wine from the beautiful hills of Latium.
Or is it just me?
It isn't you. The bread is getting worse. I've noticed it as well.
The Collegium Peace Storm is not what it used to be.
The problem is Egypt. The conflict of succession is interrupting the grain supply.
Typical. Perhaps it's time Rome takes a more direct interest in how that country is governed.
Is your back giving you trouble? My wife is a trained masseuse. Salve, Legate. Welcome back.
It's always good to see you again at a fair price, I should say. Very well. The Ancile is yours. I cannot guarantee that it once belonged to a god, but you have my word that it is a good shield, and it will serve you well should you ever use it in combat.
You came! That much should be clear from the look on my face. But I really didn't expect you to appear here, of all places. Nothing. I just thought it'd be a bit beneath your station as an honorable legatus of Rome. But obviously that's my mistake. Woman, bring us a fresh jug. My friend is still sober, and that's simply not acceptable. Now, what are we drinking to? Rome is fine. Women, though, bring nothing but trouble. Fortunately, trouble is what I like. That hit the spot. Another one? I'll tell you a secret. I can always drink another one. Another! Keep it pouring! And then I said, well, what can you say in that situation? Obviously, I asked, is that really a goat? Or a sorry excuse for a tent pole? It was. I still can't help but laugh. You know what people say in Africa? Wine makes the soul come out of you. You're all right, my friend. You're all right. More than I could count. I've walked on so many different kinds of soil, seen so many faces, and broken so many hearts. Marcellus Vipsenius is the best. Some say he's working on the recipes of the legendary Margot himself. Others say he smuggles his wine from Carthage. An amusing notion. Should I also get a wife and make a few little brats of my own? Nonsense! You're being too serious for your own good. Look at it like an adventure. Sure, life is full of pain and misery, but it's also full of beauty and wonder. You should endure the former and live for the latter. There's so much to experience still. To people like us, settling down is like death. Something you don't long for, nor expect.
Another jug, Domini.
That will be all, so,
Actually, I wanted to talk to you, Domina. May we perhaps retreat to a private chamber?
Wait, you seem to be in distress. Out with it, woman. What do you want?
I think I am with child. I do, but...
Speak freely!
You are the father of my child. Future child. Don't you remember me, Aquilinos?
What? I don't know. I've never seen this woman in my life.
You told me you would not remember me. Afterwards. And I respected that in a way, but now I need your help. Marcellus Vipsenius doesn't like his girls giving birth. He's a cruel man. I remember how kind you were to me. My child deserves better. Our child. Even if you don't want to have anything to do with me, I want our child safe and away from this shithole. Will you save me?
We don't, I guess.
I swear, I'm telling the truth.
Does it matter?
Quit bothering the guests, look here. These jugs will not deliver themselves.
Help me, please.
Quickly, Thawa.
The night has taken an unusual turn. I apologize. I don't. But I do tend to forget some things when I'm drunk. Still, I find it hard to believe I'd forget the mother of my own child. Maybe, well, not entirely. Times like these I wish Calida were here. That woman has a knack for spotting a lie. Probably not. But what if it really is my child? I don't know what to make of any of this. I'll have to think. Thank you, my friend. That means a lot. You go. I suddenly have much to think about.
Free medical advice. I am well trained and highly experienced.
How is it?
Domine. We're doing very well, actually. Given enough time and persistence, we can rely on the wine business solely. In fact, we owe our success in the political arena partly to our excellent vineyards. Good, you're here. Let us begin. First, tell me what you thought about my question. Certainly, I wanted you to think about the meaning of life. Yours or mine, it doesn't matter. What do you think the meaning of life is? The purpose of it? Isn't that a bit pointless? Do we live to live? A point? Perhaps not. But a reason is what everything must have. Everything is the consequence of another thing. To understand reasons, we must understand causes. We must know the root cause of all there is and all there will ever be, the stones of which the universe is made, or what we call the first principle. Not literally. But just as a house is made of stones, everything is made of something. Where it ends is the first principle. No one really knows what the first principle is, but thinking about it is the first step in finding one's purpose. Opinions are divided. Some say the first principle is water. Others say it's wind, fire, or earth. What do you think the first principle might be? Do not think of it as water itself. Anaximandros says the first principle is fluid and water-like. It is the indeterminate boundless. He calls it the realm of the infinite, which is in eternal motion. When things exist, they become finite. But when they cease to exist, they go back to the water of infinity. That which you haven't seen yet may still exist. After all, we have already seen lands you hadn't seen before. Were they not real until we visited? Ah, it is not about strength. Anaximenes believes the wind is the soul of the world, because it is the wind that makes us breathe and live. He also posits that all other elements are derived from air. Fire happens when wind blows too fast, yet water happens when the air is too slow. Maybe. I don't think a rock has breath, though. And that is what Empedocles says. He believes any or all of those can be the answer. It depends on the situation or person. But I believe that to be a non-answer. Right is defined by the existence of wrong. Right is the absence of wrong. If everything is right, then nothing is right, for nothing is wrong. It's more about the inherent movement of fire than the destructive force thereof. Heraclitus says fire is change. And as such, the only thing that is always the same. Everything changes. Nothing ever is. We are all in the process of becoming, and never stop. Change is the only common element in the world. It doesn't, but it means fire is in everything. Or maybe nothing comes out of anything. Parmenides said, nothing can ever be seen in the process of becoming. Things always just are. A process of change is just a trick of our senses. At any given moment, things are stationary. If your senses are not reliable, how could you ever know? Who knows? Thinking about the first principle is a way of thinking about the world. And only by knowing the world clearly can you know yourself. Most certainly, but that hardly matters until you know what you're fighting for. Only then you can trust your actions. Only then can you be a good man. Only then can you be free. Perhaps because your mind is not free. A man who is not allowed to do what he wants. Can such a man be truly free? Because you're free to look anywhere, but you do not know where to begin. Sometimes an abundance of freedom can be as restricting as the lack thereof. You may pursue your own happiness, but when it comes at the cost of someone else's, can you be called a good man? True. Yet perhaps there is a commonality to all forms of happiness. Happiness is the absence of misery. If you do not know how to make people happy, then you can try to eliminate misery. By doing that, you can be a good man. I know. You have unfinished business. You will not be happy unless you find her. It is your goal in life, Bestia. Just like your sister, you are partly stuck in the realm of ideas. You will not be complete until you find her, or find her not. You were a child, Bestia. No one will hold you to account for what you thought back then. It is only natural. Who knows who Serwa your sister is now? Do you want me to be honest? What matters is not if you will find her, but what you will do if you find her. Then I have succeeded as Magister. I can only ask the right questions. It is you who should find the answers.
I see him. By fire. Talking to his friend.
Let's find a way to let him down easy.
You came. And you have brought Daenerys.
Calidar is showing me around. This city is big. Bigger than I thought. We have seen many dresses. Some of them actually pink.
Didn't I tell you so? You said you didn't like the city. But out here, you can run and jump and be free.
What is this place? Why are you here always, Tabat?
Maybe. I have spent so much time here. Some places cannot be left, Calidar. They live inside you wherever you go.
There! Stop right there! You're coming with us!
Please, do not make this more difficult than it needs to be.
Do you know these Landakai?
They told me you were back in the city. I did not believe it. I do not know what kind of god possessed you, for I do not know which of these gods is more foolish.
Mars watches over us here. Mind your words.
You are a criminal. You are a disgrace to our family. Because of what you've done, we all will be infamous. Only I can speak for our family now. Father is dead. I think he died of grief because his only daughter acts as if she's a man. Does it matter? The dead do not come back.
Arrested? For what?
She killed a man.
I kill men all the time. When they deserve it.
Rome does not look kindly on women who kill men, regardless of how much the man deserved it.
Deserved? I didn't realize marriage was a capital offense. He was your husband. He's allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants, and you're still not allowed to kill him. Yulia, please. I do not want to see you hurt. Surrender peacefully.
That sounds like a threat, little man. Threatening the wrong person can get you killed.
What? Are you her gladiator lover or something? What do you mean?
Usually, what I say.
Innocent? I can't even recognize you. My sister was a kind and happy person who always... That you did, didn't you? In return, it was always you who was beaten. That wasn't fair. But life isn't. Very well. I will try to convince Mother. We're leaving, men. Yulia, stay out of sight.
You handled that very well.
Why did he leave? Yet it looks like he doesn't know how.
How is it?
Is everything well, dear? They told me Lucullus is your patronus now. That means our family reputation will be restored.
That and more.
Lucius, Louiana. It's so good to see you again, Mother. And brother, you're back.
Isn't that a beautiful sight? It'll grow on you. We each have our own outlets for excess emotion. In your mother's case, she just talks. The villa is yours. All of your rights are restored. Congratulations.
I don't know how we can ever repay you, Lucius.
There's no need to repay anything. You of all people should know that, Claudiana. This was not a transaction. In that case, I can say we're even.
Is that it? But what if they...
Don't worry, Claudiana. No one can harm your family as long as I am alive. Everything will be fine.
Good morning, dear. Have you slept well? Cats standing guard? Against whom? Will they stop the northern barbarians by their sheer fluffiness?
I heard in the east people think that cats guard the gates of the underworld.
Maybe. Let us hope they are.
There is a thing. He asked to see you, Lorco. He says he has a business proposition. Goodwill? Lorco? Unlikely. If anything, he's more devious than his brother.
Whatever you do, be careful.
Excuse me.
Have you washed Domina Libiana's bedsheets yet?
It's the next item on my list. Why do you ask?
The blankets from the triclinium need washing too. Maybe you can do them at the same time.
Sure. I'll pick them up before I start.
That boy who always asks for you hasn't been around in a few days.
He became too aggressive when I turned him down.
What happened?
Deianira had a stern talk with him, and it seems he got the message.
That woman is worth her weight in gold.
Good morning, Domine. I've been waiting for you.
Cutting up the weeds and trimming hedges, it's a constant struggle to keep nature in check, really.
It is generating quite a bit of income, even though our recipes are old. The grape seed we have imported from Gallia produces tasteful drink. There's always room for improvement, though. You jest, I'm sure. If anything, I've grown a bigger belly. The wine doesn't help. I can't think of a reason why he would not be doing well. I've heard Nasamonis is a land of forbidden pleasures. Alas, it's too far away. But speaking of our friends in high places, it might be worth going to the Senate this afternoon. Tullius Cicero is holding court there today. You might learn something. That you do. And I can buy some groceries while we're at it.
These damned crows and their indiscriminate defecation.
They paid 1,000 denarii for him.
But you told me he wasn't very good at his work.
He's being trained as an actor now. Apparently he is quite good at that.
Then we should go and watch a comedy with him together, when he's ready.
I made a promise to Jupiter and Juno when I left, and they saw me through the journey safely.
Very good. Then you had better give them what they're owed.
Precisely. I will place the altar in the wall facing the street.
Send a service with the inscription you want, and I will get to work.
How is Bai? I heard you returned recently.
It was not what I expected. I made the mistake of renting a room just above a bathhouse.
Is that a bad thing? That sounds convenient.
The noise! The weightlifters grunting and groaning as they swing their lead weights. The masseurs smacking and slapping at their fat clients. The ball players counting out points. People jumping into the water with a loud splash. Ah, it was constant.
I didn't expect you to come around.
Well, that's just a ludicrous idea.
But who says you can't make wine out of olives? My wine will be unique.
Have you ever thought about the reason why nobody makes wine out of olives?
Obviously, they're stupid.
I do house calls in the evening. Salve, Legate. Of that, I have plenty. How many do you need? Thank you. Let us... Clean linen for bandages? Fresh medicinal herbs?
Have you ever been to Lutetia? They say it's the most romantic city in the world.
What? More beautiful than Rome itself? I find that hard to believe.
I didn't say beautiful. I said romantic.
But what does that mean?
It means there are a lot of women.
Then take care of it. And be sure to do it well. The people I work for are not tolerant of failure.
So I'll soak some bread in wine and mix it with minced ox meat, and then what?
Then you roll it with salt and grill it over the fire, but not for too long.
And you think we can sell this?
Trust me, we'll make a fortune.
I saw her eating with her husband at a popina last week.
The poor woman, having to debase herself like that.
Hopefully things will turn round for them soon.
What were you doing at a popina? Not eating there, I hope?
Of course not. I was there on business.
Salve, it is good to see you after all this time. You have a sharp tongue. That unmatched wit of yours will kill me someday. I'm pleased that you did not let our relatively sordid history get in the way of a business transaction. Now, I know you are a rather emotional individual, but I would advise against losing control. This kind of baseless accusation is not to be thrown around lightly. Some people might get offended. Offended people often overreact. Tell me, do you like managing your family's vineyard? To awaken you, perhaps. I've heard tales of your battles, Legate. You are a wolf. You're the kinsman of Romulus himself. You're very different, you and I. That's why I think we could work together instead of undermining each other. Tiberius was a fool. His vision was limited and crude. He was a believer in the Republic. I believe Rome is in grave danger. It is nothing new, of course. We always had enemies within and without. They always disliked what Rome is and what it stands for. But in the past, Rome used to be a force to be reckoned with. We have grown lazy and soft. Our republic and its myriad procedures slow us down. These days we're more interested in talking about things we should do rather than actually doing those things. We do need a new Rome, though, unshackled by the limitations of our ancient system and bureaucracy. It will be a Rome of strong minds willing to make difficult decisions. More importantly, it will teach our enemies to never underestimate us again. I have made my preparations, and I want you by my side. You misunderstand. I would never betray Rome. I am planning to run for consul. I'm sure I can convince you of the validity of my cause. What I'm going to show you will shock you. You'll see why Lucullus is in no position to do anything for Rome. Don't say I did not warn you. Wale, until next time.
Good day. You are clearly a well-bred young man. I will offer you a choice. Your money or your life. I'm afraid you're quite mistaken.
I believe the meaning was you will regret doing this.
Oh, kill them both.
Salvete, people. Shall we even the odds?
Your timing is impeccable as usual, Kaisu. You save us again.
Always a pleasure, old man. Let us not turn this into a habit, though.
We're gonna have some fun.
This isn't over! No permanent damage.
Worms and maggots penetrate your corpse!
Where is Vitellius Lurko, one wonders?
In Tartarus, hopefully. But that's not important. A messenger arrived this morning. It is Proconsul Licinius Lucullus. He says I should find you as soon as possible, and you'd know why.
If I know Dominus Lucullus, he would have sent a rider for you with all the instructions. A reasonable precaution. We may soon need their assistance. You should go ahead. I get the feeling time is of the essence.
It arrived just after noon. The rider insists on giving the message to you. It appears this woman was instructed to meet you here as well.
The proconsul just told me to find you. Said you'd know why. Exciting things always happen when you're around.
The message, please.
You must leave everything and come to Nazamones immediately. We're in grave danger. And I'm afraid in this case, we refers to both our family and Rome itself. It seems we have underestimated Vitellius Lurker. Although the little brother wields no political power of significance, he is the de facto leader of his family. An ambitious man who isn't reckless makes an enemy to be reckoned with. His friendly demeanor masks a molten core of vengeful desire. He still remembers how we dismantled their illegal operations in Asia. And I'm afraid he wants our lives in return. I have reason to believe Lurko is planning something big. My speculatores say he's preparing to remove me from my position in Nazamones by force and make it look like a local uprising. If he succeeds, Rome is likely to lose control of the entire territory, giving Lurko the perfect excuse to challenge the current consuls. We cannot allow him to go ahead with this plan. I need your help. Reconstitute Legio Victrix. I know they are still loyal to you. Then sail for Nazamones immediately. A battle-ready army will be the last thing Lurko would expect. Do not despair. Know that the sun is brightest following the darkest day. See this as an opportunity. If we can turn the tables on Lurko, we can at last expose him for the crook he is. I await your arrival anxiously. Your Patronus and your dear friend, Lucius Licinius Lucullus.
I could not find Calida, but I have brought Bestia.
I arrived before any of you did.
You're looking good, Bestia. You have recovered from our last fight?
The injuries were not a problem, but I still owe the arena master for all the damages we caused.
It is like old times. I guess this means trouble.
We should leave as soon as possible. But I don't think I'll be able to leave Rome so easily.
Is this about a woman again?
In a way it is. Do you remember that sewer who approached us at Marcellus Vipsanius's? Well, it turns out she was telling the truth. At least, partly. She has given birth to a baby girl. Thanks, I guess. Apparently she tried to escape from Vipsanius, who incidentally is her dominus. The problem is, they're blaming me for it. Of course I didn't. If I ever decide to help another man's cell escape, I will most certainly succeed. She claims to be the mother of my child. Perhaps she is, or perhaps she just knows Vipsanius and his people are naive enough to believe her. Marcellus Vipsanius has a reputation for mistreating his Ceraway.
This may take a few days, but I'm sure we can prove these allegations have no merit.
Thank you, Nagate. I will now take care of our preparations. We leave as soon as possible.
Be careful, child.
Do not worry, Domina. I will make sure we return home safe and sound.
Salvete, travelers. Welcome to the villa of Lucullus of Africa Proconsularis. State your identity and intentions. My apologies for not recognizing you immediately. It's been a long day. The proconsul is currently preoccupied. Please wait in the courtyard while I relay the news of your arrival to him. Not for me to say. You better ask him in person. But orders are orders.
Legate, a word? I don't think he recognized you. This doesn't smell right. Something's up. Little things. His armor is a bit too small for his body. He never called you by name. And did you notice how he failed to pronounce the proconsul's full name?
It is said he who possesses a deceptive heart sees only deception in other people's hearts. And it is known that women are deceptive by nature.
Wow. And that is why you're old but still single, Cineros.
Well, to err on the side of caution is wise.
Finally, some truth in the old man's words. We should kill them all.
Oh, well, that is not exactly what I was going to propose. In fact, it's quite the opposite of
Killing
what
everyone is the most cautious option.
Are you sure you know the meaning of that word? So what if he's rude and his behavior is not proper? Obviously, he's not Roman.
Not really. If we will fight, I am ready.
If you wish. I don't think it's necessary, though.
I apologize for the delay. There have been some security-related problems recently. We had to take precautions. There was an attempt on his life recently. Nothing we can't handle, of course. Still, we're instructed to take all sorts of precautions. Relinquish your weapons here, please. No one's allowed to bear arms inside the villa.
Are you not glad that you heeded my advice?
Unfortunately, only 2 escorts are allowed beyond this point. Do not worry. I will take care of your friends while you're gone. Now!
are so weak.
When they bleed this much.
Cross that line, and I will send you to the up.
Must give me strength!
This is all too easy.
I will get you next time. Help a girl out!
Please follow my finger. Yes, you'll be all right. I'll just lie down and rest my eyes.
Let us stop them together!
Give me strength!
Care of me, and I shall slay many of your foes.
Please follow my finger. Yes, you'll be all right.
I want to die for the pleasure of pharaohs.
Howl like the dog you are! Perhaps I need someone to help me here.
You are mostly fine. Get back into the fight.
all too easy. Howl like the dog you are!
Help a girl out!
Does this hurt? Good, that means you're fine.
I need help with this wound!
Not again.
Is that the last of them? Truly.
What in the name of Jupiter is going on here?
Egyptians, Domini. They came out of nowhere. He locked himself into the study. They've killed everyone. The Surwey are imprisoned in the cellar. All I know is that they were in a great hurry. It seemed like they knew you were on your way.
I'm not surprised. This was an assassination attempt, and a very sloppy one at that.
Praise Fortuna. Take the key.
Lucullus! By the gods!
I'm sorry, Domine.
I'm not tired. I'm just angry. Very angry. Don't worry. I am focused as well. I think these are two separate questions. It is clear these killers were Egyptian. They took no care to obscure their identities. Their weapons are just lying around, and the murder weapon is clearly Egyptian. Honestly, the only thing that's missing here is a graffito saying Egyptians killed Lucullus. These people were in a great hurry. My guess is they quickly dispatched anyone who posed a threat, then got ready for our arrival. They had no reason to waste time killing the Surwi. Too much risk for no gain at all. I will be. Eventually.